Chapter 1: The Prison in the Wastes. I wasn't supposed to be anywhere near the Forbidden Wastes, not unless I wanted a government fine bigger than my whole yearly salary. But my ship didn't care about regulations. It cared about the massive hole a meteor had torn in its hull. So there I was, trudging across the empty dunes of the uncharted zone beyond Outpost Juna 3, hoping to find scrap metal or tech I could salvage. The wind howled like something alive, sand whipping against my suit. That's when I saw it. A metallic structure half buried in the dunes, round, ribbed, with faint lights flickering across its surface. Not human. Not even close. I approached cautiously, scanning it. The readings made my stomach drop. Velana biosign signatures. Velana tech was rare. Dangerous. Illegal. Rumor said they didn't imprison criminals. They imprison monsters. My boots sank into the sand as I circled the structure. A slit in the hull pulsed weakly, an entrance unlocking itself, inviting me inside. Yet no. That's not creepy at all, I muttered. But curiosity always won with me. Always. Inside was worse. Rows of cells lined a narrow corridor, each humming with containment fields. Most were empty, melted, shattered, destroyed from the inside. Like whatever was inside them had escaped long ago. Except for one. The last cell on the right. Something lay crumpled inside. A woman. Or, at least, humanoid. She was curled on the cold metallic floor, shackles around her wrists and ankles glowing with suppression energy. Her lavender skin shimmered faintly under the flickering lights. Her long silver hair spilled across the ground like liquid moonlight. But the most striking thing, her back, covered in scars, burns, cuts that looked old, healed, reopened, and healed again. I stepped closer. She didn't move. My breath caught. "Are you alive?" I whispered. "Nothing." I reached toward the control panel. My voice shook. "Please don't kill me when you wake up." I disabled the suppression field. It hissed and dissolved. She flinched violently, scrambling backward until she hit the wall, shackles rattling. Her eyes snapped open. They glowed like amethyst fire. Terrified. Wild. She lifted her trembling hands, as if expecting a blow. "Please," she whispered. "Just make it quick." My heart cracked. I'm not here to hurt you." She stared confused. Then she spoke again, voice raw. "You're human. Last I checked." Her eyes widened in disbelief. "Humans never come here. Humans never show mercy." I swallowed hard. Well, maybe today is different. She blinked rapidly, like she didn't understand the concept. "My name is Ryan," I said gently. "What's yours?" She hesitated, like even her name was dangerous. "Elira." And in that moment, she looked less like the prisoner everyone feared, and more like someone who had forgotten how it felt to be touched gently. Chapter 2: A power the galaxy wanted controlled. Freeing her was the easy part. Carrying her out of the ruined Velana prison? That was harder. She could barely walk. Every step sent pain across her face. The shackles had drained her energy for so long that her body trembled like fragile glass. She leaned into me just to stay upright. "You don't have to help me," she whispered weakly. "Yeah, well, leaving you in a cage felt like a jerk move." Her lips parted slightly. Surprise. Confusion. Maybe even hope. "No one helps my kind," she said. "They fear us." "Well," I grunted as I lifted her fully into my arms, "I guess they haven't met me." Her eyes softened. Like those were words she'd waited her whole life to hear. Back at my ship, she stopped at the ramp, trembling. "You're taking me inside? Unless you want to stay here and get eaten by sandcrawlers." She swallowed hard but nodded. The moment the ramp shut, she looked around with awe and fear mingled together. "You trust me inside your vessel?" she asked. "I trust you more than whoever locked you in a cage." Her voice grew small. "They lock me up because of what I am." "What are you?" She looked down at her hands. "I'm a luminera." I froze. Luminera. A mythical species said to have energy in their blood, actual, living starfire inside their bodies. Beautiful but dangerous. People whispered legends. A single luminera could melt a battleship. They were hunted, harvested, feared, controlled. "Is that why they hurt you?" I asked quietly. She nodded. "My power frightened them. They thought I would burn the galaxy." She looked away. "But I never wanted to hurt anyone." The pain in her voice twisted my stomach. "Well," I said softly, "you don't scare me." Her eyes shot up, wide, shimmering, hopeful. "You aren't afraid?" I smiled. "You're shaking like a leaf." "Why would I be scared?" Her breath hitched. And for the first time, she smiled. Barely. Carefully. Like she didn't remember how. Chapter 3. Healing a heart that expected pain. The next few days were slow. Elira flinched at sudden sounds. Panicked when I opened a tool drawer too quickly. Apologized when she accidentally dropped a cup, even though she was still recovering. I learned quickly. People had hurt her every time she made a mistake. So I made sure she never feared mine. When she spilled water, I just chuckled and handed her a towel. When she flinched, I spoke softly until she relaxed. When she cried without meaning to, I just sat beside her until she stopped shaking. Little by little, she changed. She laughed once when my maintenance drone crashed into the wall. She leaned her head on my shoulder while we watched the distant nebula outside the viewport. And when I cooked for her, just simple human food, she stared at her bowl like no one had ever done something so kind for her. "You're confusing," she murmured one evening. "How so?" "You treat me like I'm worth something." "You are." Her breath caught. "You don't understand," she whispered. "My power destroys. People fear me. Even I fear me." "Then let me fear your cooking," I joked. "I've seen what you did to the eggs this morning." She gasped in mock outrage. Then giggled. Actually giggled. And I knew I was falling for her. Hopelessly. Chapter 4. The hunters find us. It happened on the 7th night. I was fixing a loose stabilizer panel when my ship AI blared. Unauthorized vessel detected. Luminera energy scanned initiated. My blood ran cold. Elira rushed into the cockpit, eyes wide. "They found me," she whispered. A Velana interceptor descended through the clouds, weapons glowing. A voice crackled through the comm. "Surrender the Luminera asset. Failure to comply will result in termination." Asset. I felt rage burn in my chest. Elira stepped toward the ramp, trembling. "I should go," she whispered. "If I don't, they'll hurt you. Like hell." "Ryan, please," she cried. "They'll kill you for protecting me. Humans always choose survival over helping my kind." I grabbed her hands. "Elira, look at me." She did. Her eyes shimmered with fear. "You expected pain all your life," I whispered. "But you won't get pain from me." Her lips parted. Emotion overwhelmed her features. "They'll take me," she whispered. "They always do." "Not today." I slammed the shield controls. The ship roared to life. The enemy fired. We launched. Chapter 5. Her power. My trust. We tore through the atmosphere. Enemy fire lighting the sky. Elira gripped the co-pilot seat, body tense. "They'll disable your engines," she warned. "Not if someone fries their scanners first." She blinked. "But my power can save us." She froze, shaking. "No one ever asked for my power." They only fear it. I don't fear you, I said quietly. I trust you. Her eyes went glassy with emotion. Then she stood. Her hands glowed. Energy spiraled around her like a living aurora. The ship trembled as her starfire linked with the power conduits. She screamed, not in pain, but in release. A burst of radiant light erupted from her palms. The pursuing ship's scanners exploded. Its engines malfunctioned. It spiraled downward into the clouds. We soared free. Elira collapsed into my arms, shaking. I didn't mean to, she gasped. You saved us. Her hands trembled on my chest. You trust me, with something that could kill you. I cupped her face gently. Yes, I whispered. Because you aren't a weapon. Her lips quivered. What am I then? I brushed a tear from her cheek. Someone worth loving. She sucked in a shaky breath. Ryan, then she kissed me. Softly at first. Then fiercely. Like she'd never been kissed. Never been wanted. Never been free. Chapter 6. Ending. A love she never believed she deserved. We landed on a quiet moon far beyond Valana territory. A place without prisons. Or hunters. Or fear. Elira stood beside me on a cliff overlooking the twin suns. Ryan, she whispered, all my life, I expected pain, hurt, chains. She turned to me, but you looked at me like I was something precious. I held her hand. You are. Her voice trembled. I don't know how to be loved. Then let me teach you. She closed her eyes, relief and joy warring on her face. I never thought I'd meet someone who didn't run from me. Someone who didn't fear me. Someone who her voice cracked. Someone who chose me. I stepped closer. Elira, I choose you. Every day. Every star. Every future. Her tears sparkled like tiny galaxies. And I choose you, she whispered. Not because you saved me, but because you saw me. She rested her forehead against mine. No more cages, I murmured. No more fear, she breathed. Only us, I whispered. Only us, she echoed. And as the sun set behind us, she wrapped her arms around me, not as a prisoner, not as a weapon, but as a woman who finally understood love. The galaxy feared her power, but she chose to love me instead. And that love changed everything.